My name is Dan Berg. I think I know most of you, but if you don't know me, we've been going to Lakeland for about 7 years. You probably know my wife, Beth Ann, who seems to be everywhere doing everything. So that's my better half. I am actually been functioning as the campaign manager for the 3030 Vision campaign. You know, I grew up in the world just like anyone else. I wanted the things of the world. That was my goals and desires, and so it was really interesting to see that I had many gods in my life, and it seemed like one god after another was getting knocked down by the one true God. And one of the gods that was knocked down in the summer of 1985 was my desire to be wealthy. I mean, I just wanted to be wealthy. I mean, isn't that the American dream, right? And so I had joined a startup software company with some buddies, and we were going to make it big. We headed down to Dallas to meet with one of my partner's best friends who had gone down there several years prior and was in real estate development. And he was a 26-year-old multimillionaire. I mean, this guy just made it big. And so we went down there and stayed with him. We're trying to convince him to fund our company, and I'm just like, man, this guy has got it made. And I said that to him. I said, this is awesome. You've got it made. And he was just kind of staring out his back window, and he didn't answer me for a while. And then he finally said to me, he goes, it's never enough. It's just never enough. And I was stunned. I was just taken back by that. I'm like, this guy has everything I want, and he's unhappy. So why is that? And so I pondered that and wrestled with that for the next few months. And there were a couple more gods in my life that got knocked down. And by October of '85, I got invited to a Bible study, and I was just ready to find out about the one true God. And so I was baptized in November, and it was just such a joy and a change in my life. So the reason I share this testimony, though, is because that one God of desiring to be wealthy was knocked down. I got the idea of stewardship early on in my Christian walk. So stewardship is the idea that God owns everything, and we're just stewards of what He has given us. And we're entrusted to use it wisely. And so that was something that was just so easy for me to get. And it was honestly, I struggled with it just a tiny bit, but I moved forward in faith, and God just really blessed me. So when Dan approached me to participate as a campaign manager for the 3030 Vision, I was like, hey, this is something I get. I understand this. It's about stewardship, and I get it. I'm on board. I want to do this. I'm very excited about that. I just want to share with the church, the things that we learned, about tithing and about living below our means and getting out of debt as soon as possible and tithing and beyond. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I want to share these things. So I joined the campaign, and this was back in July, August time frame. And as I started walking through this process, it was certainly about stewardship. But if you were there on Saturday night for the celebration service and the cardboard testimonies that were shared, it's really about people. It's really about the Lord of Heaven changing people's lives, converting them, redeeming them, making them new creations, and sending them out to do His work and to be, His agents of His work in this world. And so I transformed from, hey, it's all about stewardship, to, yeah, it's about stewardship, but it's really about investing in the souls of people. And so as I was reading in the book of Acts, I started thinking about the church at Antioch. Are you familiar with how that church started? The church got scattered from Jerusalem. Some wound up in Antioch, and they just started preaching the gospel. And many people were saved in that town. It actually said that the numbers were abundantly added to the flock in that town. It was a flourishing church. And do you know what else happened at Antioch? You guys remember that? They were praying and fasting, and the Holy Spirit said, set aside Saul and Barnabas for the work that we have. And that's where the mission work really began to step up to the next level. And I'm reading that and I'm thinking, Lord, is this something that you want to do with Lakeland? To grow our body through conversions in our community, but start sending out more and more missionaries. LifeSpring is our first church plant, and I hope there's many more. We're going to continue to support missionaries around the world and missions around the world. But I just caught this vision that we're being asked for this double impact. Oh, could we be an Antioch church that would just be so influential in a bigger way? And that's why I'm so excited about this campaign, because I just see there's just so much more ahead of us. And we've had a great 30 years, but, and Dan always likes to say this, I think our best years are ahead of us, right? Yeah. And I think the Lord wants to bless us even more. So that comes to kind of now the third part of my presentation, and that is, how are Beth and I going to participate? Well, some of you may know, but I have actually been gainfully unemployed for 13 months now. Some of you may know that. I say that, it's kind of a play on words, but the Lord has been so good. I worked for a company for 12 years, and the company got acquired in 2008, and I was given a very generous severance package because of that. And I just said, I took a year off because I saw it as a gift from the Lord. There was just a lot of things that I needed to do in my home and beyond work in the church and so forth. I just desired to have this time off. And He really blessed it. And so, but with having the year off, Beth and I in August, as we started thinking about, well, what are we going to do for this campaign? The Lord's provided for this year or so, but what are we going to do? And so I have to go back a few years to tell you what the Lord did. Around 2001, I was with the company. I was doing extremely well. I was in sales. Things were going really well. And I think my desire to earn more, to give more, started weighing a little heavier on the earn more side, if you know what I mean. I got a little distracted by that. And so I made a really bad financial decision back in 2001. And it cost me significantly. I had to pay a huge amount of pre-tax. And I just got stuck. I mean, and I hadn't even realized the income from that. So my financial planner basically said, this is going to take probably 20 years or so to get this back. And I'm like, oh, damn. Oh, you're just a bad steward. Stupid. So I've been kicking myself for 8 years now about this whole thing. And so in August, as Beth and I were praying and considering, what are we going to do? We had a meeting with our financial planner, and I just have a couple of questions to ask you. Do you guys think God can influence Congress to change tax laws? Do you believe that? Yes. Absolutely, I do. I've seen it happen. Do you believe that God can have companies be sold and give out severances packages? I do. And so all these things that have played together, tax law changes, company being sold, and my taking this year off, next in April, when we file our taxes, I'm getting that money all back. And so that's our gift. I had written that, I said 20 years, it might as well have been eternity. But that's the starting place for our gift that we're giving back. And I am just so thrilled because our financial planner basically said, he goes, of all the 100 plus clients that we have, you're the only person that's benefited from all these changes that have taken place. And I say this because I am boasting in the Lord. And what He did in my mistakes and my sin, He redeemed it. And He gave me an opportunity to offer it back to Him. And that's what we're doing. Beth and I have just such a joy to do that. So that's how we're participating. And Katie said this earlier, the leadership's been working on this plan for a couple of years. I've been involved for about 3 or 4 months now. And I know some of you are just starting to get in the process. Or you've heard about it, but you're getting more information. So I just ask you to really seek the Lord at this time. Really ask Him how you might want to participate, and trust that he's going to show you.